final tip that I've got here for you is then to make sure that you build a database, because you've got people coming to your website now. All of the different strategies that I've talked about, whether it's optimizing your content for Google, or you're adding authorship, or you're creating some other traffic channels, or you're engaging with people and syndicating your content in social media platforms, you're starting to get all of this traffic come back to your site. Now, the key thing that you want to do is have a channel to be able to continue to communicate with them. Now, this is usually one of the last things that a blogger thinks about. A blogger doesn't really think about, well, maybe I create a newsletter or some sort of free report or some reason why someone would want to exchange their email address for a particular something. Just subscribe to my newsletter these days is not enough, because the world is such a busy place and there's a lot of noise out there. People don't want to add more noise to it. So you really have to make sure that there's a good, valuable reason that someone would want to opt in. But once you get someone on your database and you've got an email list, you're able to continue to communicate with them and drive them back to your website. Whenever you create a new piece of content, you can send an email out and people come back. It just Google proofs you, regardless of what changes Google ends up making in the future, whether they create a new algorithm update. They've got the penguin and the panda and hummingbird, and who knows what animal they're going to come up with next. But if you've got a database, it doesn't matter, because you can continue to email them and come back regardless of how you're ranking. And it's the same philosophy behind why I've suggested that you build up a bit of a profile on some of these other platforms, whether it's on YouTube or Apple iTunes, because it Google proofs you. And you'll actually find that building a database becomes your biggest asset. I feel like this is an area most bloggers miss, but it's probably one of the most important.